If, like me, you've owned a few classic or retro cars, there's a good chance at some point, while you've been driving them, you'll have put some fuel in and smelt that horrible fuel smell and realised that you've got a leaking fuel tank. And that is exactly what's happened with us in the Supra. Now, this happened on the way to Goodwood. We were on the way to the Revival. We put a full tank of fuel in and we got the horrible drip, drip, drip. So in this video, we're going to remove the fuel tank and I'm going to show you how you can actually repair one quite easily without having to buy another one. Let's get the fuel tank out. The first thing to do is get the car jacked up and obviously get it supported on axle stands. We don't want any accidents. We've got to remove the driver's rear wheel and also the splash guard to be able to get to the filler neck and 4 Phillips screws in the fuel cap. 2 14mm bolts holding the back of the tank straps, 2 17mm holding the front of the tank straps. Once that's done, we can support the fuel tank with the jack, with the chocker wood, and once everything's loose, lower it down slowly, disconnect the wiring, disconnect the fuel line, which unfortunately snapped, and then pull the tank out the back of the car. On the fuel tank. So once you've stripped your fuel tank out of the car, removed any bits off it like the sender, the fuel pump in our case, and a few other bits, you're kind of ready to start treating the tank. Now obviously we're going to clean all this up, we're going to paint it all, de-rust it all on the outside, but the focus is getting the inside right. Now we've chosen a kit from a POR 15 kit from Frost, and it's a 3-stage treatment for the fuel tank. So we're going to concentrate on the first stage now, which is the actual cleaning and degreasing of the tank. Now you mix this 50-50 with warm water, and then you've got to move it about onto every seam and every area of the tank and let it sit there for an hour. It is quite a long process. Don't worry, I'm not going to record it all, but that's the first stage and that's what we're going to do now. Before we go any further, I'm going to interrupt this video and I'm going to add in the footage that Mel said I should have added in and that I said we didn't need to record. I don't really know why, but that's obviously why we're doing this. So before we did any of this, we filled the fuel tank up with water, see if we could identify the leaks, and this is what we found. I should have recorded it, I didn't. Luckily Mel recorded it on her phone, so you get to see it. Anyway, back to cleaning, treating and sealing the fuel tank. Now predictably I didn't video pouring the solution in, but trust me, 50-50 warm water and the solution. It's been sat on this seam for an hour, so all we're going to do now is give it a quick slosh around, put it on the next seam and repeat that process over and over until we've done all 4. Now we're concentrating on the seams because that's where these tanks are known to leak from, but depending on where the leak is in your fuel tank, just make sure you clean as much of it as possible with this solution. The cleaner the fuel tank is, the better and easier it's going to be to repair it. So let's do that. Right, so that's an hour on every edge. We had to put a little bit of tape over that edge because that's where it's leaking, but that should be the inside of the tank partially cleaned. Now what next, we've got to empty the cleaning solution out, rinse the whole tank and repeat this process. So it's another 4.5 hours, so let's get it done. Right, so for you it's been about a minute. For us it's been 8 hours, but the tank is now fully cleaned inside. When it's fully cleaned, you need to force dry it. Now by force dry they say to use either a heat gun or a hairdryer. We used a hairdryer. It only took about 15 minutes and it leaves the tank quite nice and warm. We're fighting against the weather a bit today, but it doesn't matter, we've got to rinse the tank out anyway, so a bit more water won't hurt. The next step, and a nice quick one this time, is the metal prep. Now this is an acid. It etches the inside of the tank, makes the sealer stick to it. Don't get it on your skin. Wear gloves. So you pour this in, you don't have to water it down or anything, and then you have to move this around in the tank for no more than 20 minutes, and then you flush the whole tank and dry the whole tank again. So we're probably going to do it for like 10 minutes. We'll speed it up. Again, we'll not show it all, but swill it around, rinse it out, dry it, and then we're finally ready for coating the tank. It took a while, but trust me on this, it's worth it. All right, let's get this done. Right, so finally we're on to the last step. The tank's now been etched and force dried again. Lovely and warm actually. So now it's time for the sealer. Don't shake it, give it a really good mix. It's quite lumpy until it's mixed. When it's mixed properly, there's no, no lumps in it, no pigment in it. It's just nice. It starts off like a weird brown, goes silver. Trick with this is pour the whole thing in, and then you've got to rotate the fuel tank round for how long?
Just till it's coated.
Till everywhere inside the tank's coated, and then you drain out the excess. So that's quite a key thing. You don't want a puddle of this forming on the bottom of the tank. So drain out all the excess for like 10 minutes. Make sure you've got all of it out so it's not puddling up anywhere. Don't put the cap back on this because it says something about, obviously as it's setting, I think it must pressure up or something, but it says if you put the cap back on it can pop off. So don't put the cap back on, just let it air dry and then throw it away. As for the tank, it's going to take 96 hours from the minute we've swilled this round inside and drained it out, so it's going to take 96 hours. So when we've swilled this round, I'll end the video here. I'm very, very confident that, that this will have done the trick, but I will let you know if it doesn't work. So that's about it for this one. Basically this should, and if the reviews are anything to go by, this should save your classic car or classic bike or classic vehicle's fuel tank. So it's a good option if the fuel tank for your vehicle isn't available and you've got a leak. So as always, thanks for watching. Bit of a different video, just a bit of a how-to, but it needed doing on the Supra, so we might as well have shown you all how to do it. And we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. And the one time I'm going to record pouring it, I can't get the top off.
You have to press down.
Yeah, it's a childproof.